Thank you for joining us today on Coffee With. We're at the Highway 61 coffee shop, which is located on Washington Street. My guest today is Jay Pearson, who is the director of the Mississippi School of Protocol and Etiquette. Jay, thank you so much for joining me today.
Why? Thank you for having me, Robyn.
It's my pleasure. I know that you and your group of professionals are doing some very interesting things, really not just in Vicksburg, and not really just in the state of Mississippi, but you've got your fingers in a lot of different pots, and I'm most interested to hear about your organization and particularly about the programs that you are implementing here in Vicksburg.
Why? Well, thank you for your interest and for allowing us this platform to kind of share what we do. Robyn, as you may know, we are the Mississippi School of Protocol and Etiquette. We are Mississippi's leading source of protocol, etiquette, and leadership training, not only to businesses and organizations, but also leading the way in leadership for youth development. We're helping so many communities establish mayor's youth councils in Mississippi and giving the young people a voice that's been missing for so long. You know, one of the great things about giving them that voice is helping inspire our future leaders. Because our youth are our future, and we are on a mission to help them gain a new perspective of their responsibility. That, you know, it's all fun and games, but also there's responsibility behind it.
Very serious.
And you know, Robyn, they have a job to do. Go through school and commit to never-ending improvement in their lives, but also to be of service in their community, which is kind of a lost art in Mississippi.
It is. And now tell me about the program that you're doing. You've done several programs already here in Vicksburg, is that correct?
We have.
Okay, tell me about those.
Now, the programs here in Vicksburg have been targeted to two age groups, 7 to 12 and 13 to 18 years of age. And we came in and we brought new leadership discipline to them. And over the course of a 6 to 8 week program, those students learned meeting and greeting and handshaking. They actually had the opportunity to meet the mayor. When we talked about prom etiquette, they got to get in a big Hummer stretch limousine and ride around town. We talked about table etiquette, and they experienced a 5-course dining tutorial. But you know, the program came full circle, and when they all went back into their school and they became leaders in their school, that's when we know we reached the point of success. When Dr. Liz Swinford from your superintendent of schools here in Vicksburg came to us and says, Jay, we're seeing a difference. Keep up the good work, and that's great inspiration for us.
How do you identify the students to pull into this program?
You know, it's any student who has the knowledge of wanting to lead, to be a leader. That's it. That's all. You have to have a passion for life, and for contribution, and for service, but overall for helping improving your life and those people that you're in lives with.
Yeah, you have another program that's going to be starting in the fall, is that correct?
We do.
And tell me about that, because that's a little bit different from what you've already done.
It is. It's going to help develop and strengthen Vicksburg's Youth Council. And again, give those people a voice, those teenagers a voice. But we're approaching it in a little different manner. We're asking our sponsors, our corporate sponsors, to open their doors to the opportunity for each student who is interested in their area of expertise to come in an internship to help them master the skills of that industry before they go into that industry. Again, to open those doors of opportunities.
That is an excellent idea. I think it's invaluable experience for these young people to start thinking about what they want to do with the rest of their lives. It's such a hard decision to make, and particularly at that age.
It is. And you know, that old adage saying, failing to plan is planning to fail?
That's right.
We want to help them get a good plan of success for them and make every second count.
Now, Jay, tell me about some of the other things you're doing. I heard you speak several months ago at the Chamber of Commerce luncheon, and you know, you're just a very interesting, fascinating person that has done things I really have never heard of before. Now, I haven't been around the block that many times, but tell me some of the other things you're working on. I know you've worked with the military on some different projects. Tell me some of the other areas where you've been involved?
Speaking of military, we have just signed an agreement with them to bring to all the young people of Mississippi who attend our program something called March to Success. It's a computer-based training program that will open the doors of training and learning to help every student get a higher ACT, SAT, and ASVAB score. It's a pretty dynamic program. And parents and teachers can sign on as well to a secure site, gearing information towards that specific student, and print out tutorials in that area of weakness. So that's pretty phenomenal. As you may know, we also do intel training on 51 military bases. And we are a resource for all of our U.S. ambassadors and heads of state.
Wow. That's all I can think of to say. Wow. Now, I'm sure there are some other things that you're doing that I haven't asked you about, that I don't know about. What have I not asked you about that you want to talk about to us?
I tell you, one of the things that we're so excited about that that we have brought to the table here in Vicksburg, but specifically Warren County's Children's Shelter. Children who use those services will have the opportunity starting in May to attend computer-based training in the areas of leadership to help them cope and deal with the underlying pressures that they may be going through, but most of all to help them position them for success regardless of what situation they're in. And you know, Robyn, our past does not have to equal our future, that we can design our own destiny. I think that, along with faith and commitment, anything is possible.
Well, and I think developing problem-solving skills in young people will serve them well throughout their lives. If they know how to think through and solve problems and look to the future and keep moving, it's a skill that really moves us all forward through whatever troubles we face.
Absolutely.
Jay, thank you so much for coming today and for the difference that you're making in our community, and thank you for coming and having coffee with me.
Why, Robyn, it was a pleasure. Thank you.